Welcome back to my backyard snack yard. Today we are actually inside my garage having a look at my Wormcity because I wanted to do a good update on it. I've had it for nearly 2 years now and I'm still so enjoying reaping the benefits of just using up all kinds of kitchen scraps and rubbish really and turning it into really amazing gardener's gold, as they call it. This really perfect nutrient dense compost or really soil conditioner that you can really feed the plants with. And especially as I do so much container gardening, it's really wonderful to have this little bit of soil I can feed them with, full of all kinds of nutrients. And of course the things I feed the worms with are things that I want to feed the plants with. Lots of foods high in nitrogen, that sort of thing. So I give them lots of coffee grounds. I'll just show you what I've got here. Things I'm giving them is like these sort of peelings and then lots of finely ground eggshells because the worms really need that. They haven't got any teeth and so they need to have this sort of grit in their gut to help grind the food. And also lots and lots of spent coffee grounds because that actually is full of nitrogen, so it's really a nutrient rich food to give the worms, and the worms really love it too. It's a bit acidic. I think most of the acidity is gone, but there's probably still a little bit still present because most of it goes into the coffee that you make with the coffee grounds. But I think the worms still really seem to love it, so that's a benefit. And also it's really good when it gets into the soil later on. So just a little recap on how this Wormcity works in case you're in the market for one. It's really simple. It has these box system here, 4 boxes, which is the largest size for a bigger family. And so what we do is, down here is just a sump, so it's nothing. It's just where to make sure that the worms don't fall out, I suppose. They can sometimes fall down there and then they can crawl back up again. It's perfect like that. And this little tap here is so that any liquids can be removed and you can use that as a sort of really good tea to feed the plants. So it's like a liquid fertilizer. And then up here we have the boxes. So there are 4 boxes and you start off with just putting the first one on and filling it, and when that one's full you put the second one on, then the third, and then the fourth. And when the fourth one is full, this is just the roof, when the fourth one is full you go down to the bottom and remove the bottom box, empty it out, and it should be full of this wonderful compost, and then you put that on the top and you fill that one up. And then this way, after a certain amount of time, I'd say about 4 months, you'll have your first box of compost. So now that I'm doing it steadily, I have a new box, a 20-litre box of beautiful vermicompost every single month. And today is the day we're going to harvest, so I'll take you with me and show you how it looks. So here is the bottom box. You can see it's been pressed flat by all the other boxes' weight on top of it. You can see it's still full of quite a few worms. They're still working their way through it. So what I really need to get is a sift to sift the worms out. At the moment I go around, I go through it and sort of remove all the worms, but it does take a little bit of time, to be honest. And there are always a few that get away, but as you can see they're breeding constantly, so there's lots of babies everywhere as well. It's a very good healthy colony I got here. So full of worms, look at this. And I think some of the bits here, I use lots of egg cartons because it's quite unrefined, quite good paper to use, not bleached or anything, quite fibrous. So yeah, it's all worked its way really well. Lots and lots of gritty eggshells, lovely stuff. So I'm going to remove all this. Give it a good work through. It's like playing in a sandbox. And then this box will be empty and we can start filling it again. Lovely continuous cycle. But this is really beautiful stuff. And it, you know, it's so amazing to think how just 4 months ago it was just egg cartons, perhaps some toilet paper rolls, well, the insides of it, even shredded paper, and then all this kitchen scraps. And it becomes this, which I can use right into the garden and just really help the plants and give them a real good boost. Especially the ones that are in containers because they can't draw loads of nutrients from the soil, so they need everything. They need all the help they can get, I think. So look how good that is. Isn't that brilliant? Beautiful box, 20 liters of wonderful vermicompost. So I will take this out and get the Wormcity up again, and then I'll also remove all the worms. And someday I will have a sift. But this kind of soil is quite like sticky, so I'm not really sure how easy it would be to put it through a sieve. I think it would have to dry out a bit, and that's not ideal. So I'll have to see. Maybe I'll always have to remove the little wormies by hand. It's really raining outside, but I've just caught a few of them from the bin I popped it into. So I popped it into a bin that has holes in the bottom so that the water can just leak right out as it rains on it and everything. And yeah, I've been going through it by hand to get any little leftover worms in there. Look, here's another one. Look at these. Such beautiful little creatures. So I'm gonna get him back into the Wormcity. The thing about them is that you can't really release them into the garden because they're a different kind of worm, and they wouldn't actually be happy in cold temperatures. Like in the winter, obviously. They eat from the top and then it gets too cold for them up there. So we're going to keep them inside, keep them safe and sound and warm and dry, and keep them going all winter. As long as the temperature is about 10 degrees Celsius or above, they are fine. Here's another little guy. I'm just going to collect them all now, go through this box and try to get as many little worms as I can, bring them back inside safely to the fold. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this interesting. I really would highly recommend starting a little worm bin if you haven't already, because it is such a great way to use up kitchen scraps and things and just make something wonderful with it. So see you next time. Bye for now.